Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. This is a third of a series of special events that I have for you this morning, and I will also have three regular episodes of the current events for you this morning as well. But this article, the URL is in the description of the video, of course, for your convenience. It's off of BizPac Review. It says, Judge Jeanine blames ghosts of Clinton's past for robbing St. Jude kids of Trump's help. And there will be a video that I will show you at the end of this, but we'll read the article first. It says, Judge Jeanine Pirro was furious about Eric Trump Foundation having to suspend operations, and she placed the blame on Hillary Clinton for it. Trump's foundation, which benefits St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, was pushed to close because of fears of influence peddling when his father becomes president. The same type of influence peddling that it was alleged occurred through the Clinton Foundation when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. Because someone, Hillary Clinton, lined their own pockets from their so-called charity, laundering money from foreign governments and oligarchs under the guise of starting a presidential library, but actually seeking to pay lawyers and sexual harassment judgments, those children supported by Trump's foundation lost, she said in the opening statement of her first show of 2017. Trump's foundation ceased operations on Christmas Eve. Children who hoped an angel would come with a gift, not of toys, but the gift of life, because a young man named Eric lost that night, Pirro said. The foundation boasted that nearly 100% of the funds raised were given directly to St. Jude. No charity money was used to fly around in private jets, she said. Pirro said it was Scrooge and the ghosts of Clinton past that robbed the children of the gifts Eric Trump was bringing. And I'm going to do a screen share with this and pull this video up and play it for you. It's just over 6 minutes long. So let's do a screen share with this. I may have to do a little manipulating here to get this to go. Here we go. And there's the screen share.
With us tonight. Two major interviews just minutes away. My exclusive talk with Eric Trump in a moment, plus I'll speak with incoming White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. But first, my opening statement. You know, politics gets in the way a lot, sometimes even in the way of dying kids. I wanted to start tonight with all the enthusiasm of the first show the new year deserves. But when I found out the Eric Trump Children's Foundation was being forced to suspend operations, I was furious. It happened on Christmas Eve, that night when most children dream about what Santa has in store for them in that bag chock full of goodies. While those children were nestled all snug in their beds, children in different kinds of beds, not dreaming of sugar plum fairies. Those children, the unluckiest of them all. Someone was a crook. Those children lost. Because someone lined their own pockets from their so-called charity, laundering money from foreign governments and oligarchs under the guise of starting a presidential library, but actually seeking to pay lawyers and sexual harassment judgments. Those children lost. Because a self-admitted dead broke, penniless couple parlayed their charity into a pay-for-play and $250 million for themselves. These children lost. And of course comes the New York Times in their of moral inequivalency, echoing claims of influence peddling from the shady Clinton Foundation, where authorities refused to even lift the veil of corruption, opining that surely Eric Trump's Children Foundation will influence peddle, albeit not admitting that the Clintons did, but to be fair, Eric Trump must close his Children's Foundation. Permit a few differences. Eric Trump was not penniless or in debt. when he started the Eric Trump Foundation. He did not start that foundation to make money, and he certainly did not become rich because of it. Here's what his own wife told me in Florida.
He started the Eric Trump Foundation to help kids with cancer. And in fact, he's such a humble guy that when I first met him, I didn't even know about it. He started it the year before we met. And it was almost like he didn't want to toot his own horn to say, look what I did.
You know, on the show, I remember his saying that 100% of the proceeds go to the kids.
It's very important to Eric. The low expense ratio of the Eric Trump Foundation is something he's always. I mean, he works his hardest at the Eric Trump Foundation, and I've seen him negotiate for cents off of a price, pennies off of a price, just because he knows that that's a penny more that could go to the kids of St. Jude. And it's really disappointing to see how other charities out there are run. And I use charities very loosely because we see the Clinton Foundation, and it's disgraceful, quite frankly, that they could be categorized in the same space as the Eric Trump Foundation.
21 years old when he followed through on his dream to create a children's foundation. Most, if not all, of the money goes directly to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Tennessee. There's no money from foreign governments or foreign oligarchs, and certainly no business deals or sale of American assets accompany contributions. In fact, Eric Trump was not in the government, nor will he be. No charity money was ever used to fly around in private jets or to live a life to which he was unaccustomed. Eric can actually trumpet concrete accomplishments like the intensive care unit at St. Jude's opened on February 2015 before his dad was ever a candidate for anything. All the money's raised, almost 100%, given to the charity for the foundation, millions, almost 20 million, operated for Eric shouldering operating costs himself. And so this past Christmas Eve, those children not dreaming of toys or sugar plum fairies, but the ones praying their next chemo or blood transfusion wouldn't hurt so much. Some even praying that death wouldn't visit their rooms that night, hoping maybe, just maybe, an angel would come with a gift. Not a gift of toys, but a gift of life. All because a young man named Eric. They lost that night. Yes, it was the unluckiest of them all who suffered that night, because a young man who did nothing but good for all the right reasons could not continue to do good because evil was assumed to be the norm, as Scrooge and the ghosts of the Clintons past visited the Eric Trump Foundation and the children who benefited. And that's my open. Tell me what you think on my Facebook page or Twitter, hashtag Judge Jeanine. And joining me now by phone.
Okay, there's that show. I thought you would enjoy that video. And if you like what we're doing here, give it a thumbs up, share it on your social media so everybody gets to hear the news. Don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell next to the subscription button and check that box so you get email messages every time I put a show up. And that way you'll stay aware of what's going on in the news. See you in the next one.